Welcome to Football Analysis, and I'm here with
Austin United.
Austin. How was the match today?
Well, I think I don't even have a word for it. It's disappointing in its entirety. Very disappointing, honestly. Performance-wise, it was awful. Result-wise, just so bad. But it's just another game again. I mean, it's a game of football. You lose some, you win some.
From the pattern of play, what can you say about the pattern of play today?
Well, as regards the way we played today, I think injuries is our biggest undoing today. We had too many injuries in vital positions. Luke Shaw was out. We had to slot Lindelof on that left back position. And then Casemiro too left the game at the very early into the second half. And then we had to bring in forcing. You get it, to slot in for Højlund. All of this whole lack of consistency in players' availability is making the entire team not stable. You can see the way we lost the game today. We actually lost the game not because of Fulham's performance, because even Fulham, they were not really playing as well as they should, given the balance of Manchester United that was not there. They scored, we equalized. We should have equalized. They let us back into the game to tell you that even Fulham were not really that excellent. So I just think that the entire loss today was just, it has been coming from the beginning of the game. The loss has been coming. We equalizing through Maguire was a miracle. I didn't see it coming. So when it came, I felt like maybe we could have just tightened the defense and then gave the remaining minutes a proper balance to allow for a draw, because there was no way I think we could have been able to get 3 points. So there's no player on the bench to substitute for Rashford, and Anthony too, that could have at least maybe come in and then allow for Garnacho to bench Rashford, has been awful this season. So I think for Rashford, it's just he keeps getting away with all of these bullshits because of lack of competition, really. That's just it for me.
All right, so for our midfield today, I don't think they really played well, because all through today, Fulham had their own way through our midfield, and they, tormented every positions. What do you have to say about that?
Well, looking at that midfield position, I think, well, Kobe Mainoo, I think, is 19, 20 thereabouts. That means he shouldn't be even playing as many minutes as he's playing. We should manage his game time. But because of the injury we are suffering, look at Mason Mount. He's been on the sidelines for God knows how long. And then you have Eriksen, who is already overage. His age is Eriksen is not even as healthy as he should be because of the whole heart thing and everything. But then the entire midfield cannot be dependent on Kobe Mainoo and Casemiro. Casemiro is 31. Kobe Mainoo is 19. The balance is not there. You understand? Kobe Mainoo is already, the way he was playing today, I think towards the 70, 75 minutes mark, you could feel the fatigue in his game. He was playing, you could see he was tired. If not for the fact that we didn't have anybody on the bench to replace him, he could have been substituted. But then he had to be shoved wide, and then we had to bring Eriksen in to help that midfield, which Eriksen didn't really do well because the energy levels were lacking. And Amrabat has not really proved that he could be that player that comes in and impacts the game because of his poor passes, and then his tracking back is questionable. So I think in terms of the whole midfield thing, we are just not there. We are not there in terms of where we should be. As a team, as a team of the magnitude of Manchester United, we are not really competitive in the midfield area in terms of the players we have. I think, well, when the windows open, I expect Ten Hag to go into the market and source for proper midfield players that could not only substitute Eriksen, but substitute Casemiro. Casemiro is not really that Real Madrid Case anymore. Last season when he came in, he did quite well because, he needed to prove the transfer fee, and then he needed to prove that he could do it in the Premier League too. But this season, together with his injuries, he has not really been there. You get it? He has not really been there. So I feel like maybe next season we should just look for talented midfielders that could come in and impact the midfield position.
I noticed our front line were not able to hold ball as long as they're supposed to hold ball. any ball that is coming up, it's their ball, it's Fulham's ball automatically. But when Højlund was playing, all the up balls are for him, and he will keep it till his teammate comes around. So what do you have to say about it? Because this injury is getting out of hand, and I don't know our medical department. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think Højlund not playing left a huge hole in that team. I think he scored 6 in 6 now. He scored 6 in 6 games. And then you could see right at the time where he was getting into the right shape, injury has hit again. It's just so sad. It's just so sad. And again, Marcus Rashford does not have that center forward dog inside of him. You get it? He's more like a wide player, Garnacho wide player. So, and Amari Forcing that was brought into play in that center forward position lacks the requisite experience to do it. Much more against Fulham. Now, as regards winning second balls and the first balls and everything, there was no way Amari Forcing was going to beat Fulham's defense. You had a very tenacious, what's it called, Bassi there, and then you had Tosin. These are very giant defenders, and they are very physical. So there was no way we were going to win the second or the first balls. You get it? So I think what the coach should have done, what Ten Hag should have done before the game began, I think he should have gambled McTominay from the onset, because McTominay has the height. You get it? Has the height, and then he should have just pushed Bruno to the flank and allow Marcus Rashford in that center forward position. You get it? And then see how the game pans out. But now we are dominated area-wise and everything, all down to the fact that Forcing was not there. He was invincible in the game. You can't even point at anything he did. So I think we just gave Fulham a free pass in that center forward position.
All right, but I think Forcing played right wing, starting from first half. They played right wing. Rashford was on center forward, then Garnacho flank. So I don't know why the choice of the coach to play him there, but it didn't work at all. It didn't work at all. So what do you have to say about general performance of the team? Where do you see this team going next match?
Well, looking at the amount of injuries we have currently, I don't think we are going anywhere next match. I don't have an idea of who we are playing next, but I'm very sure that it's going to be a tough game. I mean, every single Premier League game is a tough game. Much more the second half of the season. Everybody's playing to either qualify for Europe or get out of the relegation zone or try to cement their place for next season. So every single game you are getting now, it's tough. And looking at the amount of injuries we have, I think Lindelof went out of the game limping again. So that might be another injury. If we go into the next game with this number of injuries, honestly, I'm expecting a draw or a loss. We played at home to Fulham today, and then we played as if we were away. Fulham were the better team. I think it's going to be even harsh if we left that game with a point. Fulham deserved the 3 points. They actually deserved the 3 points from the first half down to the second half, and how they saw the game off. They deserve the 3 points. So kudos to them.
The last goal of this game now, if you were to pinpoint somebody that's supposed to, kind of keep it on their 10 toes, who would that be? To prevent the goal.
Well, I feel like the way we played towards the end of the game didn't show that we were aware of our performance the entire game. We were on the back foot the entire game. Now, when Fulham scored, I was not really seeing an equalizer. When we equalized, I expected Ten Hag to pass his information across about not sitting deep though, but keeping a good defensive shape that does not allow Fulham to get another goal, because equalizing was a miracle. You get it? So I think 1 point was a fair point for us. Now, going all out to get the 3 points was like we were not really aware of how we were playing the entire game and not giving Fulham the respect they deserved in that game. Now, I think Eriksen, and I won't blame Maguire for it. Maguire was already on yellow card. So Eriksen should have been that player to hold down Traore. but the energy levels were very poor. His physicality, you know, I mean, Eriksen is not a player that you expect any physical side of this thing from. So it was just poor, really. It was poor. It was poor from Eriksen. It was poor from Maguire, but I could still give Maguire a pass because of his yellow card.
All right. So, what do you have to say about Andre Onana's game today?
Well, first half he was okay. He kept us in the game in the first half, and in the second half there was no way you could blame him for those goals. That of the second goal, yes, don't let me. I don't want to miss this point. Dalot was completely awful today. Defensively dirty. Attacking wise, he played 3 wrong passes to Amad Diallo. 3 wrong passes to Amad Diallo. All of these Manchester United players are just undeserving of this team. They are undeserving of that jersey. Take Dalot out of that team and get me Wan-Bissaka back, for crying out loud. Amad Diallo was in front of Iwobi. Amad Diallo was Iwobi was going to cut the ball back. If Amad Diallo was going to be deceived, what about you, Dalot? You know Iwobi is right-footed, so he was going to definitely come back inside. Why not wait for him to come back inside and then you block it? You went the same way as Amad Diallo, like somebody who does not reason with his number 6. And then we lost that goal. I can't blame Onana because he played it to Onana blind side. Onana was already seeing the left side, which is where every other keeper will see. So he played it to his blind side. So I'm not going to blame Onana for that goal.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. It was a poor game.
It was a poor game. And please, if you are watching, please do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you are watching from social media, please do well to follow our accounts at Football Analysis. Thank you guys for watching and see you on the next one.